Hello everyone, this is Arun from VIT University, and today we are going to discuss something on architecture and town planning. Well, before going to the topic, the basic needs of the human beings are food, clothing and shelter. And if we look at the dictionary meaning of the shelter, is a place giving a temporary protection from bad weather or a danger. And well, why do we need architecture and town planning? And well, look at this picture for a proper architecture and town planned city which is pleasant to look, and it has an ambient atmosphere where people feel better to live in. And as an architect or as a normal being, when we look at the city from a far off place, it should be pleasant and it should be identifiable rather than clumsy and irregular built up areas. And without architecture and town planning, the city will look so clumsy and it will not give a pleasant feeling, and the people living over there will not be finding peace wherever they go. So this is another typical example for unplanned city in which lack of architectural principles and civil engineering structures. And why do we need architecture and town planning? The sociological changes and the new technology in the industrial development and advances in building technology created a lot of buildings in which people are finding very hard to find a good place to live in. And public continually demands more complex building than in the past. Example, you can see a lot of multi-story building in and around the cities, particularly in the metropolitan cities. It also should serve some purpose, last longer and require less maintenance and repair, and it should be looked attractive to the world. In the past, the design of the new building was mainly the imitation of the design of an existing building. Well, you must be wondering the difference between civil engineering and an architecture. Architecture is a multidisciplinary profession in which it includes architectural design, heat, ventilation, air and conditioning system, mechanical systems, envelope systems, structural systems, acoustical systems, electrical system and lighting systems. Architectural profession involves the multidisciplinary both engineering, structures and mechanical, which combined into a single platform. The difference between the civil engineering and architecture is civil engineering involves planning, design and construction of the structures, whereas architecture involves the design of the structures with a focus on aesthetic and functionality. Aesthetic is the outermost appearance that a man can view. An architect will, without an engineer, an architect cannot fulfill the aesthetic and functionality of a building. And there are two major principles of architecture. A building is an assemblage that is firmly attached to the ground and that provides a total or nearly total shelter for machines, processing equipment, performance of human activities, storage of human possessions, or any combination of these. And a building design is a process of providing all the necessary information of a construction of a building that will meet its owner requirement and also satisfy public health, welfare and safety requirements. The three important functions of the architecture are interior design, landscape architecture and urban city planning. When we look at the interior design, many are familiar with the interior design. Even a normal layman can put up his ideas for creating a good interior design. Whereas landscape architecture needs a lot of development of the landscape development and the garden to capture the needs of the environment. The urban or city planning as an industrial boom in today's construction era. The planning and arranging the physical aspect of the large or small community according to the needs of the people. And when we look at the question, what should an architect consider before designing the building? There are several needs and the principles of architecture rather than the functionality. First, it should serve the purpose. Secondly, with the available labor and the equipment within acceptable time, it has to be completed. Third, the building should be capable of withstanding the elements of the normal usage for a period of time. It should be durable. And fourth, aesthetic. It should look good when we look inside and the outside of the building. And the most important is that the safety of the occupants. And the sixth one is the building should provide a degree of shelter from the elements and of control the interior environment, particularly air, temperature, humidity, light, and acoustics. The building should be constructed to minimize adverse impact of the environment in case of highly polluted metropolitan cities like Chennai and Bangalore. And it should consume less energy. And the cost of the construction, operation, maintenance, repair, and the anticipated future alteration should be kept in the mind within the limits specified by the client. And building systems, there are what are the factors and the information should be provided in the design. First, it should have a structural design in which the number of stories depends upon the number of the stories and the skeletal framing of the structures such as foundation, wall, beam, column, roof, staircase, water tanks, etc. Mechanical, such as plumbing, elevators, escalators, horizontal walkways, nothing but walkways, dumb wasters, and electrical systems, which involves all circuit arrangement of electrical appliances. And there are two types of design. One is traditional design and the second one is system design. When we look at the traditional design, it emphasizes on the focus of need and the economic feasibility, whereas for the system design, it basically follows traditional design with some alteration that leads to the best decision for a given set of the condition. And the traditional design involves analysis, synthesis, design, feedback, and appraisal. And thank you for listening to the video lecture on the topic of architecture and town planning management.